Welcome to On the Line. I would like to introduce Dr. Megan Clayton and also the District 6 team. This would not be possible without everyone who has put their hard work into this. So today we're going to talk with Dr. Megan Clayton on drought management considerations. But before we get into that, I would like to announce that the last month's giveaway, there was no winner, but this week's survey, this month's gift is the Texas Rangelands book. So be sure to go to our website at the conclusion of today's program for a chance to win.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is Jessica McCrory, the Terrell County Extension Agent, and I'm glad y'all were able to join us. I'm just going to quickly talk about our On the Line with AgriLife Remind text message group once again. Through Remind, we'll send out messages and reminders about the upcoming programs each month, as well as the links to the surveys at the conclusion of each. Signing up for the messages is easy to do and completely voluntary. Just start a new text message to the number 81010. In the message, type the @ symbol, followed by the letters OTLWA, the initial letters of each word, and On the Line with AgriLife. Once more, message to 81010, and in the message, @OTLWA. We hope you join, and thanks again for joining our call today.
Thank you, Jessica. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Megan Clayton.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, Megan, what do you do with AgriLife?
Well, my title is Assistant Professor and Extension Range Specialist with AgriLife Extension and the Department of Rangeland Wildlife and Fisheries Management, a new department at Texas A&M. I'm based at the Texas A&M AgriLife Research and Extension Center in Corpus Christi, where I've been a range specialist for 10 years. I support county extension agents and do research and education in about 32 counties in the coastal Bend and the South Texas regions. I consider it the best job ever. I get to be in academia, but also work directly with landowners.
Great. Well, today we are talking about drought management considerations on rangelands. What is the number one thing you think landowners should keep in mind when managing dry times?
Well, my number one take home would be that it takes grass to grow grass. And what I mean by this is that grass needs to be treated well long-term for the health of the land. So overgrazing your forage resources will leave your good topsoil subject to erosion, increase evaporation, and lower your organic matter. When plants are grazed, our better forage grasses have evolved with this, and they can recover quite quickly given good conditions. However, as livestock keep returning to the better forage grasses every time they regrow, these plants don't have an opportunity to grow their roots because they're putting all their energy into growing new shoots or leaves. So there comes a time where we have dry spells, and then boom, the first grasses to die off are those with poor root systems, your better grazing grasses. So they've lost their competitive advantage when they became shallow rooted, and they're unable to absorb as much water and nutrients or even really get water to infiltrate into the soil. So over time, you can actually see this shift in the plant community in the pasture where you might find you need to lower your stocking rate because the plants present just don't provide enough nutrition or energy for your livestock anymore.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Clayton. So I see that you mentioned stocking rates. So what is the difference between stocking rates and carrying capacity?
Yeah, good question. So stocking rate is what you often hear people brag about, like I run one animal to every 15 acres, or I run an animal to every 25 acres. So for a short period of time, you could probably run one animal to every acre, but this won't last very long, especially out in West Texas. So carrying capacity is your sustainable stocking rate. Carrying capacity takes into account brush encroachment or new buildings or roads or anything that would inherently reduce the number of animals you could run per acre. So our higher temperatures and more evaporation could also limit your carrying capacity. Even larger animal sizes compared to earlier times could be a reason that long-term stocking rate or your carrying capacity needs to be adjusted. So an economic model study that we did indicated that stocking right after a drought back to only like 75% of your potential carrying capacity will actually save you money over the course of 10 years and lower your risk during dry times, because you won't be buying as much hay. You'll have less livestock to try to reduce in your herd when times do go dry, things like that.
Okay, so other than the obviously not having any grass, what are some warning signs that landowners could watch for that might indicate that they are overusing their resources?
Well, you can't feed your way out of a drought, so it's important to keep good watch on your forage resources and know when the inevitable is coming. We say leave half of the plant standing as stubble when you move your animals into a different pasture, accounting for about 25% of the plant to be used for grazing. And then that final 25% is really used by insects or trampled. We know that if you use about 60% of the plant on average, your root will reduce in growth by 50%. So if you think about removing 80% of that plant, 100%, all of your root growth will stop growing for about 12 days. So leaving this 50% as stubble is very important. Of course, this is difficult, but we're thinking long term, not what the small amount will do for your livestock today. You could also look for features on your land, like bare ground, soil capping where the top is kind of crusted over. You used to take a spoon or a knife and actually pop up the top piece of soil. Well, this is where raindrops have hit the ground and that soil has hardened over. And that hard crust actually causes further water runoff. And that's occurring because there's not enough plants there to break up the soil with their roots. You might see things like erosion shelf or rill erosion. Those are obvious signs that the soil's been moved. You could see pedestaled plants where the soil's actually eroded away from that plant. And it's only evident where a rooted plant stands that you're missing maybe up to 4 inches of your topsoil that's gone. You could also see litter dams when you do get rainfall. That's where the rain has washed across the land and pushed all the litter into a line. And that's an indication that there wasn't enough plants there to actually stop that rainfall from flowing across the top and get it to infiltrate. We also monitor land over time with photo points by using measuring sticks to measure our better forage grasses, things like this to get a handle on when we know that we're overusing a property and keep that property from turning into a plant community that's not as valuable for us from a livestock standpoint.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Megan Clayton. So I have one final question for you. And this is just for some of our viewers, just to kind of get to know you a little bit better. So what is one thing you have been doing every day during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay. I have fed my chickens every day. We have 3 surviving chickens from 4 that we purchased really right before all this COVID mess started. After raising, I don't know how many hundreds of wild turkeys in graduate school, I never in my life thought that I would own poultry again, but I can say they've been a lot of fun, and they finally started laying some eggs, and my very young kids love them, and I think it's already been a good chore teacher already, so that's one thing we've really enjoyed, even though we're mostly stuck at home right now.
Thank you for joining us for this session on the Line with AgriLife. We hope you tune in next time on August 18th. I think Dakota has what he has planned for y'all for next month.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. This is Dakota Kempkin in Glasscock County. Like we said, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I hope you can join us on August 18th as we welcome Dr. Larry Redmond to discuss the 3 basics of pasture management. Just as a reminder, the giveaway link will be active until next month's program, and we will draw for the voucher during then. So again, thank you, everyone, and we hope to see you there.